Hi guys, it's Pod in the City. It's Amanda and Joan. We're here. I was gonna say every week when we're gonna do Wicked Watches, but like check out because we're gonna be like doing Wicked Watches leading up until I can't speak. I'm like speaking in another language right now. We're going to be doing Wicked Watch 2025.
It's fine. You're fine. My brand new
leading up to the release of Wicked for good. Baby. And if you didn't know, Amanda and I are huge Wicked movie stans. Not huge, but like we love it.
I was never into the musical. I didn't know the story. The movie was literally the first time I ever like knew what the story was about. But we both were haters. We were talking shit about it leading up to it, making snarky ass comments like little bitches. And then I saw it 4 times in theaters because I was obsessed.
The moment, first of all, I cried 7,000 times. Cynthia Erivo singing The Wizard and I. And then when she's doing Defying Gravity and she's falling.
Yeah.
And then it shows the child version of herself. Bitch. Don't do that to me. Movies, don't do that to me because I instantly am like.
I feel like there's no way it'll be not as good because it's literally just the same movie, just the second half of it.
I think it's going to be good. Now, Wicked for Good is going to be much darker, actually, because a lot more heavy shit happens. They're also in like a different phase of their life, and they also have like different like looks. In fact, Elphaba is like hardcore, fierce, fabulous. Okay, yes, we're hard on Wicked, but really, we're using the guise of Wicked Watch to talk about something that is really sweeping the world. And if you're here and you want to listen to us, hit subscribe, hit like, hit share, all that shit, baby.
This is straight off of the Backstreet Boys. Oh my God! Speaking of Backstreet Boys, really quickly, are you seeing all the? What's the one that Nick Lachey's in? All those concerts.
Oh God, 98 Degrees.
God, it's so embarrassing.
Like, yeah, they're doing like Backstreet Boys songs at a casino or something. I can't.
But it's like really sad.
It's just a bad choice. I don't know why you would do that. Why not sing True to Your Heart? Must be true to your heart. That's
I don't know any of their songs
from Mulan, the movie. All right.
The Sphere, Joan.
They decided that, the greatest thing to do would be to take the classic, the classic movie that artisans poured human artisans poured blood, sweat, and tears and deaths. I mean, if we're to believe the lore,
I'll never not believe it.
Died on set during this.
When I got the internet, that was I swear to God, that was one of the first things I did a real deep dive into.
My friend and I, we would watch the VHS and like.
I'm sure we've done it together.
I think we did because we watched for the hanging in the background of that one scene.
But on those old videos, people are like, no, I do not believe for 1 second that that's the same thing, and they didn't go back and fix it because it looks totally different. Right, but it doesn't look like a bird when you're seeing the hanging thing. It's not a bird.
Let us know in the comments right now. Are you on Wizard of Oz conspiracy talk?
If you know Hanging Munchkin, what are your thoughts on Hanging Munchkin?
Snopes, were you a big Snopes watcher? Let us know in the comments. Is this debunked? Are we moronic? Because
I loved. You know what Snopes I loved is Disney Snopes.
The Snopes that sent me into a place that was a bad place there was one that was like was debunking photos, okay? And it was like it was a photo that they had overlaid like a lotus seed pod thing that it has all these holes but little seeds poking out of it. It almost would look like little worms are popping out of like little holes. They overlaid that onto like a boob.
Okay.
And so it looked like worms were like coming out all these holes in a boob. And that
it wasn't even real.
I know it probably sounds crazy, but that literally I had nightmares about that photo for years, actually.
Did you ever go to rotten.com? I went once. I clicked on something that was person whose head was run over by a train, and I never went back. because I still remember. And I was like clicking on it. I'm like, you're never going to be able to unsee this.
Anyway, speaking of things that you can't unsee, a lot of people are spending hundreds of dollars. You know, these tickets to this Sphere Wizard of Oz are like hundreds of dollars.
Really, it's kind of a boring movie, to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's fun. Whatever. Now, I think they've ruined it because they took out a bunch of music.
They took out King of the Forest.
30 minutes off the total runtime of the movie.
That's all right.
Is it? Because then they also added extended AI assisted scenes.
Some of them are pretty rough. There's one where the Tin Man is like flying through the air.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
And it's really rough.
In the original movie, the Tin Man, there's a scene where the Tin Man like gets like kind of like flown up in the air and he just flies up and then you don't see him and then he just lands. That's all you see. In this, they have taken him, flown him up, and then you could see there's like a CGI takeover and it's like flopping around weirdly in the trees and then lands. Now, all the Oz influencers and stuff have been saying, you know, they liked it and stuff. They did say that the AI stuff is a mess and whatever. I am anti-AI because why do we need it?
Yeah, I understand they kind of have to figure out a way to do it on this.
Yeah, but you can't have, why not just have, first of all, it all comes actually, I think the first question here is like, do you think that it is okay and ethical, let's say, to take a movie like this where all the people involved in it are dead, every person, right?
And all the effects are practical effects, every single one in that movie.
And to take it and then turn it into just to do whatever you want, like to whatever with it. Like, isn't there some, I don't know.
You know what my thoughts are on AI is that ever since AI started being talked about as an actual thing, my thought has always been, wait, but didn't they make movies in like the 60s and 70s and 80s about like warning us what's going to happen? Like, were we all just not paying attention to those? I assume we were making those movies to be like, let's make sure we never do this.
I think this unfortunate thing is because of capitalism, etc. It's cheaper in most situations to just use AI because you don't have to pay anyone, and it's easier. I think we are moving toward that WALL-E. Have you ever seen the movie WALL-E?
Yeah, and yes, I know the reference of WALL-E. And also the movie Her.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we're moving towards like a not a great place. I do get existential dread often because I think well, in like 40 years when I'm 80, is every person going to have like used AI to like go to school and now they're all complete morons because they don't actually know anything? Because really, I'm now, my argument, and I may sound delusional and whatever, but I now say if someone tells me they use chat GPT, I'm now going to say I'm smart and creative enough that I don't need to use chat GPT.
Yeah, I've never used that for anything.
Because every time I hear of someone using it, I'm just like,
oh, me and Jody use it to like, I use it to make this thing.
Okay, that, I hate it still.
Yeah.
But that to me is
how well it works.
That to me is different than being like, I'm going to use AI to structure whatever. And it's like, why don't,
I don't know, man.
Not using, it's just, it is what it is.
I heard somewhere, I think it was on Heather McDonald's podcast or someone, but anyway, it was someone saying that the reason that, the reason that we know references from things before our time is because we lived with cable and they would show like reruns and stuff. And now these new string of kids will never know references like even Friends really, unless they kind of stumble upon it, and they won't be able to reference like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because like it's not being shown to them because everyone just has their own content fed to them of whatever their algorithm is. They're never getting content that they wouldn't know, you know. Anyway,
social media was a mistake.
Oh, my life got worse when MySpace came around.
Agreed. I think everyone else did,
Absolutely.
especially when Facebook popped off. Now we're all over the place here.
Okay, let's talk about this though. Sorry, you put this up already.
Fucking sphere thing. What I've seen in subsequently is that one, it looks bad because you have a lot of weirdly placed space. Or like in this case, they've added these
look okay, these ones, but these are also promotional pictures that I pulled off of Google Images.
Okay, but go back to the other one. The majority of this photo and this vision on the screen is fake.
Yeah, I actually kind of don't like how that looks. It looks like a painting.
It's like, and the original vision for this was not that there were a bunch of trees everywhere. When I think about The Wizard of Oz, like they showed a scene where Dorothy arrives to Munchkin Land, which is is the mind-blowing, like, white to color. She opens it, and then they do obviously all this added movement around the area, and it's showing big trees and a big forest and everything. And I'm like, did Munchkin Land have big trees in it? When I think of the like visually, I just remember like
it's in my head. I feel like I've also seen Wizard of Oz a million times because I am really good at doing the Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon. I know we've done that together a few times, but I am very good at pushing it.
I want to know, like, in the comments right now, is that, like, did they do that on purpose? They had to have, right?
No, there's no way they could have gotten, like, they didn't have, like, a recording of it. I think it's just one of those, like, weird things. They wouldn't have had access to, like, the movie in, like, the 70s like that.
The coincidences, though, that actually do happen in that are scary.
I think it would all, if that was right, it's almost negating like the musicianship though of the actual songs from Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
To me.
Like it wasn't their own idea. They were
using they crafted this song because it's a song, not because they're just trying to play it over the movie.
I see. Yeah. I see what you're saying. And I mean that really goes along with this thesis here that
there you go.
They added in the executives from Sony onto other actors' bodies and put their face, like superimpose their faces on it.
Oh my gosh.
I just think, you know what happened to artistic integrity? You know, if we keep shitting on art and we keep manipulating it and fucking it all up and changing it, where do we get? Where do we arrive? Where's the end of that?
We need history to be needs to be sealed for the new generation. I don't think the new generations are gonna. Before we move on, John, does this bring back any memories for you? I just wanted to ask.
That looks like Jim Carrey, in my
opinion. I mean, this doesn't look like what it looks like in the movie, The Wizard. John played the Wizard one time.
I did play the Wizard one time in a production of The Wizard of Oz. I wouldn't have done it. I would have dropped out, but I had no real choice. Once I was cast as the part, I had no choice but to stay in it. I would have dropped out. They made me pre-record all of the, like, they didn't have a live feed or anything. They had me pre-record it with with a bald cap, fully painted green. And I also wasn't allowed to use cue cards. So I had to memorize pages and pages of lines and then pause and imagine the other lines in my head because the people couldn't talk while they were filming me. So I had to pretend, like I had to know every character's lines. Guys, if you're ever cast as the Wizard, ask that you are doing it live for that part with a camera on.
It would almost be a sweet gig if you didn't want to actually show up every night, except you have to be in that black and white part at the beginning.
You actually have to be at the beginning, and then you also wait a huge chunk of time doing nothing, and then you have a scene where you talk for 3 pages straight to the lead characters about their heart and all that crap, and then you get into a hot air balloon and fly away.
Speaking of pre-recording stuff, listen, anyone who cares about musicals at all, your mouth will drop. I did a production of Jekyll and Hyde. You saw it. I was the what's her name, Lucy Cover, and the way they did Confrontation was they pre-recorded the like bad guy. Did you like, I know you saw this, you probably don't remember, but that's how they fucking did that. If I were the guy that was Confrontation, he's singing it to himself, so it's this big acting moment.
Well, Jekyll and Hyde, the character, one guy singing those characters back and forth,
and he's like turning back and forth, and he's like going back and forth between the two characters. It's like this amazing moment to watch. I saw David Hasselhoff do it on Broadway, and I cried because I thought he was so good. But they pre-recorded Hyde, and then one time the track got off and the audio was out, and then the guy didn't know he didn't know the song well enough to just do it on stage, and everyone was backstage like,
why did we choose? Anyway, guys, we're going to be here every week.
Yeah, we can watch.
Maybe if there's Wicked news, but we could watch 2025, baby. And I can't wait to see Wicked for good. I'm so excited.
What's next? Hot topics again?
I think we should pop this up and we should just do.
Ooh. Ooh. We clicked it at the same time. Do it. Go. I was just trying to help.
Oh, baby, it's the after. We're in it. It's Pod in the City with Joan and Amanda. And today, for this week's video, we're asking the hardest question. The hardest. Is Carrie Bradshaw a narcissist? Now, I want you to question, before we even get going on this, put your guesses in the comments, okay? Do you think that Carrie Bradshaw is a narcissist? What do you think, Amanda? Would you say?
Well, it's hard because when you think of a narcissist, the first person that comes to my head is like Jax Taylor.
Jax Taylor.
But like genuinely, I think he's just like a textbook clinical definition. But they're not all like that. There can be covert, overt.
That's why it's hard, because I don't think Carrie is a Jax Taylor.
Oh, no.
Like, she wouldn't, what
he may be one of the more extreme versions out there.
I feel like there's got to be a word. He's not just a narcissist. There's got to be like uber narcissist or something, like a super art narcissist. I'd say maybe she's like, now some people do believe she's a good friend. If you are on the board of being like, Carrie's an amazing person, put it in the comments. Say how much you think we're shitheads for thinking maybe even for a second.
I thought she was I thought she was perfect the first viewing. When I was in my early 20s, I was like, that is the girl that I aspire to be. And I think I'm not alone in saying that.
I think that's a really interesting and real point, because, with any show, like right now, we're going to be doing, speaking of, on our Patreon, it's patreon.com/podinthecity. Over there, we're doing Drag Race All-Stars Season 2. And on that, is there a photo here? Sure, this. On there, oh God, I had a point. I had a great point here.
No, but here's the one that you made. We're doing talent today. We're doing All-Star Talent Show Extravaganza.
I remember now.
Is it about Fifi being a narcissist?
And with watching through all of that, I watched it in the original time, and I had different people and different like people that I rooted for, and different people that I hated and liked, and just like with Sex and the City, I think my original viewings, like when Amanda and I became like or like knew each other 20 years ago. I mean, we still know each other, but like when we got to know each other 20 years ago, I definitely was more on Carrie's side in like everything. And now going back and really looking at it from the perspective of like now basically a 40-year-old. And really, in a lot of the series, we're older than Carrie, the character, is.
We're about Samantha's age, which is actually really fun to watch from Samantha's perspective as we watch, especially like old Sex and the City. Because it's like we're just a few years older than Carrie and the rest of them, and we're like, y'all are idiots.
And yeah, that's where I am often like, man, how did Samantha keep the friendship? And as we know, she didn't. Remember, she was so horrible.
She was using Carrie as an ATM.
Speaking of, if you guys like us and you like Sex in the City and Pod in this, or just like that, and you just stumbled upon this video because you were like, is Carrie Bradshaw a narcissist? Every Friday we do live streams, Friday at 2 p.m. EST we do a live stream. Right now we're doing a full hate rewatch of season 1 of And Just Like That.
We're figuring out what went wrong.
Exactly. And we put out new episodes each week recapping